Stampers and Crafters. This is Kevon from ktstamps.com, creating cards for you. And I am so happy to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, today I have a sketch for our Hump Day sketches that has been just a little bit of a challenge for me. This is what it looks like. Now, the challenge part came from this little line right here. We also have two parts to this. You can either go embossed cardstock, you can go designer series paper, you could go just plain. I don't know. I had a really hard time figuring it out. So this is the cards that I came up with that I want to share with you today and that we are going to create. This is our first card. It's just a card to say hello, and it is a Z fold, so you can see it has a nice little Z in it. All right, so that's going to be our first one, and the next one is this one that is Seaside Bay, and I love this paper. I'm so sad that it is gone, and I just kind of faked it. I didn't know what I was doing, but I just had fun. So these are the two cards that we are going to be playing with today. Our I Feel So Blue is going to be our first one. Now we're going to start off, and we are dealing with the Countryside in designer series paper. Love this paper. Love these blues. I'm a purple person, but I tell you, the color of these blues just really warm my heart. So we are going to be playing with this. As you know, designer series paper has two different designs. Usually they're double-sided from Stampin' Up, and they are the greatest paper ever. So if you don't like one side, you just turn it over and you got another one. We are going to use the Country Blossom embossing folder, and that goes with our designer series paper. And there are sometimes that Stampin' Up does one where they use an embossing folder, and you can emboss on top of the designer series paper, or you can just emboss on cardstock. But today we are going to emboss on designer series paper. Now my big thing is that I cut this a little bit bigger, so I could line it up so we have then a good cut match up in our designer series paper. Now I don't know if you can see, but all of these little things just match up. So you have the little flower in the middle, you have the little swooshes, little dots. So I am just trying to get that set up so everything is lined up, because everything then on the designer series paper will line itself up. So that's what we're going to do. All right, we're bringing in our big shot, and I'm hoping that I can do this where I'm not going to just blast you out with this big old thing. And this is the best thing Stampin' Up has ever done, is that they put exactly what are the plates that you need to get the best results. So up here, if you are doing a die cut, then you need the 1, the 2, and the 3, and the 3 are these clear plastic. If you are just doing an embossing folder, you just need the 1 and the 3s. If you are doing a 3D embossing folder, then you need to have the powerful blue or dark colored 4. So we are just doing this today. So I am putting my 1 down. I am putting my very well loved and used plate down, clear plate. Check in this to make sure that it's going to be okay. and then I am putting my other one on top of it. Now, most of the time, you want to have one of your plates a little bit longer than the other because that goes in nice and smoothly. Now, as we go through, I don't know if you're going to be able to see the embossing that takes place, but that's what we are going to work on right now. So as I take this apart, I don't know if you can see the embossing that is going on. Maybe you can see the embossing a little bit on the back side, but this is exactly what you want when you emboss. All right, so next I am going to bring in I'm just going to cut this right now, and I am looking for I'm bringing in, I forgot what this is. So this is going to be 1 7/8. I'll put this up here. 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So I am just cutting this in the background. So they are going to go on our flaps that we are going to put together in just a minute. So I have 2 of these. I made sure that I have these on the same side. Now I'm going to, so they fit one another. This looks fabulous. So we have our designer series paper done and ready to rock and roll. So from here, we are going to get out, and I love this. Absolutely love this paper. This is the Boho Blue, and it is such a beautiful blue. I really love the color. Now I'm just trying to get it out. So this is absolutely one of my favorite blues that Stampin' Up! Has coming out. Now, a couple of things. You can either score this at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4, or you can do what I'm doing right now, and all we're going to do is fold it. So we are going to fold this in half. And then we are going to fold the top fold over in half. I want to make sure I bring it over, and then you give it a nice little crease. All right, so that's what makes it the Z fold. It's that right there. All right, and we're just going to crease it one more time and crease the top one more time. So we are just going to take our embossing folders, bringing in our silicone pad, and we are just going to give it just a little bit of liquid glue. And I want to make sure I have that on the right side. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? All those blues. Really, take a look at that. Absolutely fabulous. We're going to open this up and put our second layer on. We may have a cat that visits us. CT loves to come up and tell me how life is going while I am doing my taping. All right, so just give it just a little bit of a rub to make sure. Again, with liquid glue, just a little goes a long ways. The other thing is that you also want to make sure that whenever you have embossed, you want to use a liquid glue just to tape it down. All right, from here then, we got a couple of other things we are doing. The stamp set that we are working with today, we have 2. One is the Sending Smiles and the Sending die cuts. the other one is Color and Contour, or which we're using the Scalloped contours. Now, on this first one, we are, let me get this, we are using this flower. I have already, stamped it in Memento and die cut it out. And as I'm looking through my pile, it just looks like this. Then I also used the Sending Smiles, and the Sending Smiles that I used was a card to say hello, and then I used the smaller die. Really like this die. I just think it is just such a nice die to use, and it fits long skinny words. All right, so that is what is awesome. Love that. So we are already done. Stamp this on a piece of basic white and then die cut it out. And just for time's sake, I had already done that. The exact same thing here. You do not know how many times I had to redo this wonderful little die cut hello sentiment, because I don't do things in a very straight line. Then we're bringing out our punches. I have two punches. One is the new 2 3/8, and the other one is a retired 2 1/4. And I just like the simplicity of being able to use this. All I'm going to do is put this in and give it a punch. Now, whenever you're dealing with these, you need to be careful of this back here, because if you hold your hands together and squeeze it this way, sometimes it will pinch you. So the best is to either hold it with two hands, find your position, and press down with one hand is the other way. So you have both of those that you can use. And then with my 2 3/8, this is Balmy Blue, and it goes with Countryside in Designer Series paper, and all I'm going to do is punch. Now that's easier than trying to get out the maybe trying to get out the Big Boss or the Small Boss and just cut it out with the stylish shapes. This is just a little bit easier. And just trying to get everything all ready for our next step. So now we are just going to put these together. I'm sorry. All right. And I'm just going to get out my Stampin' Seal. Just put a little bit of adhesive on this. Try to get this as centered as I possibly can. And now we are going to color. So on this, I just brought out my dark Balmy Blue, and all I am going to do, and let me go back just a minute. You have small lines, dark lines. Small lines are for the fine tip, and the thick lines are for the flare tip. Either one of these work for what we're using this for today. I like the pointed just because I am going to follow up a little bit up the stem, give it just a little bit of color, and so I just decided that I wanted to have something that the flare kind of, for me, gets a lot of ink all over the place. So I like that. So that's done in our dark Balmy Blue with our Stampin' blends. Now I'm bringing in my Boho Blue, both the light and the dark, and I'm going to start off with the dark And again, I am using the fine point or the fine end, and all I'm going to do is color around the outlines of the stamp itself. And that kind of helps with the darkening, with the color that happens, with the mixing and the blending of the two colors. And then I'll go back and just kind of add a little more color with the dark once I'm done with the light color. All right, and this looks just great like it is. You also have that. With this one, I will use the flare end. And I like going around in circles with it. And as you can see right now, you can't tell a lot of the difference. When you are using the Stampin' blends, a lot of times you will see the different colors once the ink starts to dry. And now we're just putting this together. So then I can add more colors. And once I add the colors, then just like this, you can see where a little bit of the blending, the darker on the outside with the lighter on the inside, is exactly what you need. So now I'm going to go back with my dark and kind of outline the lines that create the stamp itself. So the outline. I hope you guys all had a fabulous Memorial weekend. I can't believe that summer is almost here, or it is here. I do have a newsletter just sent out, one of my newsletters. If you would like to be on my newsletter, please let me know. You can go to my blog, which is ktstamps.com. And you can also look towards the right side, and there is going to be a link that can link you up, and you can join my newsletter. If you need a catalog, a new catalog, please make sure that you let me know. I'll send you a catalog. Oops, forgot this part. So I will help you out there as far as that goes. So if you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please let me know, because I will also love to be your demonstrator. Tomorrow we have great sales going on with our Designer Series paper. We also have our starter kit, and the starter kit is a really good deal. Really good deal. All right. So I put a little bit of Wink of Stella. I don't know if you can see it kind of shine just a little bit, but I added that. So from here, we are just going to put this on. Please make sure that you only have one side connected to this. The other side's going to be up. All I did was add some adhesive. One of the reasons that I like to add the adhesive before I adhere anything on top of it is in case I make a mistake, I can always change what I'm doing. All right, so that just lets me adhere that. If I would have put it on this side, I could have just twisted it and put it on the other side. So from here, I'm just getting out my adhesive foam sheets, and I've just cut these down. So I'm just going to put a big one there, and then I think someplace I'm going to try to add a couple of small ones. Let me get out my scissors. And all I want to do is add a couple of small ones just on the leaf limbs. So they will just stick out just a little bit. Or be popped up. That's what I want. It is sticking out a little bit too much on the side. So I'm just going to cut this just a little bit. Doing a little bit of surgery. All right. So, taking off the back, adhering it to the circles. Such a nice little, I love this. Then we are taking our card and we need to make sure that we stick this enough so it does not come out of the top. So we're going to go to about the card part. There we go. I'm going to have to stick that up just a little bit because I made it just a little bit. I brought this a little bit too close. So then there we go. We have this. So cute for the front of our cards. We'll get to the other part. And then, oh my goodness. Hold on just a minute. I seem to have lost my Night of Navy. Okay, hold on. Some more. I gotta cut another piece. I had it, and all of a sudden, I have lost it. Oh my goodness. I'm coming. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Whew. Got it. So this is Night of Navy, and the Night of Navy is 4 by 5 1/4. I do not know what I did with this. So we are just adding this on the back, and then some of the finagling comes in. Wow, this is pretty, yes, thank you. I have another piece on the outside because in this, now I've lost the, oh, man. I wanted to get something that showed this darker piece here. So I am trying to stick this designer series paper as close as I can to one side so I can stick my white towards the other side and then have a little bit of the Night of Navy on the inside, so you can see that there is a mark when you close it, or see that there's a fine line when you close it.